Okay guys, what we're going to look at today is the midge, which we get in massive numbers in the loch. Now this probably provides about 80-90% of the food source of the trout in the loch every year. As you can see here with this wee diagram, you could take it from the bloodworm, which changes into a midge, to hatching midge, to an adult midge, which then lays the eggs, which then become the bloodworm. So this is a cycle that goes on all year round and provides our trout with huge amounts of feeding opportunities all through the year. So what I've got here is a wee selection of flies that could be used to imitate bloodworm. We've got this absolutely crazy apse bloodworm, which is supposed to imitate a whole range of a bloodworm, if you like. I'm not really sure. In the middle you've got the wee piece of rubber, so you can use like flexi-floss, a bit of thread, a piece of elastic just tied to a hook, which works fairly well. And then sometimes you can even actually have just a simple red hook, which can also work for the buzzers as well, for the bloodworm as well, sorry. So 3 different flies you could try, but to be honest it's not really one that I use much at all fishing bloodworm. We tend to focus more on the ascending pupa. So what we've got here guys is some of the pupa that we'd fish deeper. So these are all slim, so they sink fairly quick. As you can see they're quite dark, quite heavy, so it's a nice heavy hook. There's some holographic on the back of this one. You can see the red thorax is quite a common one as well, with a segmented body. And these are on curved hooks. And then you've got the natural quill on a straight hook. Now you can see the wing buds here, the wee coloured part there. There's as many buzzers going as there is. It's just thousands and thousands of patterns. Find what one suits you. Now these are curved hooks and straight hooks, and there's a bit of debate as to what's the best. Now for me, if you're going to move these flies and pull these flies, you should fish them on a straight hook, because these hooks spin if you pull them. So twist and turn in the water, which is no great. So for me, these are dead drift. So either just on the end of your fly line, cast out and left to drift in the wind, or fished under a bung or something like that. Whereas these, you can probably pull a wee bit more. Okay, so that's the midge pupa. So what we've got here guys is some slightly different buzzers. Now these are a bit rougher. They're supposed to be fished nearer the surface, so you maybe fish one of the heavier buzzers on the point and one of these on the dropper. So this is more like the midge as it's just about to hatch. So you're wanting the hairiness, if you like, the roughness, to keep it up near the surface. And you'll see that they also have the white breathers on the hook as well. So you'll be getting a bit more like the hatching fly just as it's ready to break through the surface. Now, to match that, the one that goes just about to go through the surface, we've got 2 different types of style here. We've got suspender buzzer and the kind of yellow owl. Now, these are basically hanging in the surface film. The suspender buzzer right in the surface film, whereas the yellow owl, the CDC sticks above, so it looks very much like a hatching fly. Okay. Now the next step along for that would be this type of fly, where the fly sits right in flat on the surface. Now, this one here is called a cripple midge, and it's got a hackle round about, and this is to imitate a fly that's sort of died in the surface. This one is a wee kind of tine that I kind of made up myself with a twinkle tail and the foam at the front, and then the classic shipman's buzzer, again lying flat on the surface to show you the adult hatching. Now, at the loch we have a particular fly we all call the curly bum, and this is like the kind of merger here. So this fly has got the wings on it, so it's got a pair of wings on the you can see that there, but there's a video there for the curly bum as well, or emerging fly, and that's good. That's a good fly to pull through the surface, whereas the other ones would probably, the shipmans and the CDC yellow owl, we would just leave on the surface. Now when it comes to fishing wet flies at the loch, there's probably 2 flies there that is as good as anything. So for a traditional view, you would maybe fish a black pennel or a black spider. Now that is going to copy your buzzers underwater. Okay. Now the name buzzer seems a bit strange, but what comes from is the adult fly, which clouds, you'll see the photograph at the end, and you actually make a buzzing sound if there's enough of them there. So that's where the name, the buzzer, came from. So that's the sort of life stages of the midge larva that we get in our loch. I hope that kind of helps you to get an understanding of what it's about and how to fish them. Okay guys, cheers.